All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon here from Los Angeles, California. We're going to get started in just a second. Make sure you type in your name and hit the thumbs up on the YouTube channel. So we have Rumi, Bethany Gibbs from Seattle, Court Gomes in Florida, Shane West, Chicago, and Williams, Tampa, Florida, Tony Pinkston, Philadelphia, Lance from Seattle, Melanie from Chicago. Good morning, everybody. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be discussing financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share a suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. Rohan from the ATL. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get a return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? What vehicle of choice are you choosing? Make a decision, take action, and remain focused. Do not get distracted. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. Good morning, Patricia Davis. Atlanta, Lance Hunt, Dayton, Ohio. All right, let's get screen share started and start off our morning. As long as Bitcoin remains in the 5,000s, this will be my theme song. I got 5 on it. Okay. Looking at the market cap, it is at 183.2 billion, up 1.2%. But this is interesting here. This is one of my triggers when I look at a bull run. We're at 50% Bitcoin dominance, which means it's the altcoins. This is the year of the altcoins. I thought it was going to be last year. I didn't know the market was being manipulated, but it's happening this year. Ethereum is now broke 10%. It was at 9% earlier. Ripple's at 8%. So Ethereum's at the number 2 mark. We see here Bitcoin is up 24 hours, 1.6%, but Ethereum is up 7.5%. So that money came from into Ethereum. Kind of flat for the others, a little negative. The last 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash, Cardano, Litecoin, Binance Coin. But over the last 7 days, all green for the last 7 days. So that's a good trend, steadily upwards. Best performers in the last 24 hours. Nano, 16.4%. Lambda, Tron, 9.2%. Verge, Ethereum. Where's Ethereum Classic? They had a run the other day. I haven't done a crypto talk in a little bit. Stellar, 3.3%. See, worst performers. Loopring, Dogecoin, OKB, Cosmos, Maker, Aurora, Nebulous, VeChain. No top coin is there. Engine. That's a coin I'm following. Down 5%. Electronium is down 4.5%. All right, let's take a look at some news. What do I want to start with? Wall Street. Wall Street is trading Bitcoin futures like never before. Good morning, Lorna. On April 4th, 2 days after Bitcoin's rise to $5,000, the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, announced that a record had been broken. That record was Bitcoin futures trading volume. In a tweet, the CME said that 112,700 Bitcoin had been traded, equivalent to $563 million. That's a tremendous sum, and it came close to matching the combined volume of the top 10 exchanges, which amounted to 685 million. See, that's the thing. The CME represents the institutional investors, and they're just putting their pinky toe in the water right now, and they came to almost matching the top 10 exchanges combined. While the crypto community is notorious in their derision of futures, there are actually a couple of important advantages provided by the financial instrument. So where's the volume coming from? Retail investors and holders tend to not use futures. They are complex, and the smallest contract the CME offers is for 5 Bitcoins. So where is the volume coming from? According to a recent Crypto Slate article, a significant portion of this trading is coming straight from Wall Street. The rich people, institutional money coming onto the scene. CME Bitcoin futures had a record trading day on April 4th, hitting an all-time high volume of over 22.5 thousand contracts. That's 112.7 thousand equivalent Bitcoin, surpassing the previous record. Now, this makes sense, as it's typically wealthy investors, hedge funds, and other large trading desks that use futures. And while these whales are not universally loved, their heavy-handed trading is responsible for 2 positive developments for the crypto ecosystem. One of the problems that the crypto market has had to deal with is the perception that it's a scam. That sounds ridiculous to anyone who understands crypto. However, there are still millions of people who don't believe it's on the level. Thankfully, record-setting futures trading can change that. When $500 million worth of futures are traded in a single day, people start to take note. While the men and women of Wall Street have made some horrible mistakes in the past, there is almost no chance they would ever drop that much money into a market if it was fraudulent. I'd rather amend that statement. I would say there is no way they would drop that amount of money in the market if they couldn't make money off of it. Fraudulent has nothing to do with it. They do fraudulent stuff on a daily. Is there money to be made is what speaks their language. That's my opinion here. So I would amend that sentence. One step closer to an ETF. Secondly, a high level of futures trading may also increase the chance that a Bitcoin ETF is finally passed. One of the criteria for an ETF is accurate price discovery. That requires investment vehicles like futures and options, which allow investors to protect themselves against price drops. Now that the volume in the futures market is picking up, the chances of an ETF being approved are rising as well. To be sure, there are still many other problems to be ironed out, but it is at least a step in the right direction. So what happens next? The fact that there are a record number of futures contracts being traded is a very good thing for the crypto ecosystem. It not only legitimizes the market, but proves that Bitcoin is healthy. And even with the modest rise in prices, savvy investors are ready to re-enter the market. As they do, they're going to attract the attention of the bigger fish, institutional investors, and that's when the real fireworks are going to start to fly. This is an important article that most people will gloss over. That's important. Let's see, what do I want to cover next? Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, this one. $185 billion. Crypto market storms to 2019 high as Trump demands rocket ship U.S. Fed policy. Is he going to be talking about crypto yet? Let's see. Good morning, Cleve Stewart. Nomar. A total of $38.06 billion have entered the emerging crypto economy in the past week. The crypto market cap, which combines the worth of all crypto assets in circulation, shot up towards circa $185.62 billion this Monday, up 28.58% from its weekly low. The surge began when dominant crypto asset Bitcoin settled for a volatile upside action on April 2nd. The asset's 23% rise provoked a similar bullish sentiment across the board. One day after the Bitcoin rally, Bitcoin Cash, the seventh largest crypto, rose as much as 100% in a week. At the same time, Litecoin closed above its 2019 highs by surging more than 50%. EOS, XRP, Ethereum, Stellar, and Cardano also noted double-digit percentage gains in their respective markets. Trump calls for expansionary policy. The crypto rally matched shoulders with the stock market performance in the mainstream. The S&P 500 index last week reclaimed its January 2018 highs, though the S&P 500 and the crypto market do not correlate directly. Both the markets lately reacted to what was happening in the U.S. economic space. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday blamed the Federal Reserve for the stock market's dismal performance in 2018. The Fed raised interest rates 4 times last year in a range between 2 and 2.25%, leading to investors jumping from U.S. stock markets to more comfortable fiat assets like the U.S. dollar. But the Fed lately announced that it would pause its rate hikes in the face of global and domestic economic turmoil and demand from the U.S. president. Well, I personally think the Fed should drop rates, Mr. Trump said. I think they really slowed us down. There's no inflation. I don't know about that. I would say in terms of quantitative tightening, it should actually now be quantitative easing. Very little, if any, inflation. See there, in one sentence he says there's no inflation, and then the very next sentence he says there's very little inflation. Oh, that's Trump for you. And I think they should drop rates, and they should get rid of quantitative tightening. You would see a rocket ship. Despite that, we're doing very well. A potential QE program typically leads to a stock market pump. Market participants like the thought of more dollars coming into the economy, which leads them to offload them into stocks and bullish sentiment. That also means that investors could look beyond conventional financial instruments like Bitcoin to distribute their portfolio risk. As a result, more money flows into the emerging crypto space. All right. Interesting article there. Let's see here. Which one do I want to cover next? Not yet. Previously bearish trader reverses stance on Bitcoin. Here we go. We got I don't want to say if he's a hater or a skeptic, but he's a bearish trader, so he's in the space. Now has a new prediction, $50,000 price within 2 years. $50,000 price within 2 years. How many Bitcoin can you get your hands on now before May of next year? Good morning, Abdullah, Muhammad. Let's see. 50,000 in the next 2 years. Even though the crypto market has seen a marked recovery during the past few weeks, some traders are suggesting that this is just a drop in the ocean compared to future gains. Brent says technical charts reveal Bitcoin headed towards $50,000 price point. For example, the technical trader OCH founder of Factor Research and Trading, Peter Brandt, recently spoke with Yahoo Finance and revealed that he expects the price of Bitcoin to reach dizzying heights of around $50,000 a coin. However, bullish cryptocurrency predictions are nothing special. Nevertheless, Brandt's predictions are actually worth taking quite serious. as he previously predicted the 84% drop in the price of Bitcoin seen last year. I'm paying attention. What's he about to say? With that being said, Brant has now shifted his position from bearish to extremely bullish. According to Brant, examining the technical charts can reveal the underlying supply and demand fundamentals of Bitcoin, which is how he predicted the fall in the price of Bitcoin. Now, these charts are painting a decidedly more optimistic picture, with Brant suggesting that Bitcoin is about to launch into a new price rally. This comes as some observers are heralding the end of the crypto winter. Brant, who is a seasoned, I don't know about that. It's like Game of Thrones. They've been saying winter is coming since season 1, right? We're now going on what, season 8? Winter still isn't here yet. Kind of like this. I don't think we're at an end of the crypto winter yet. That's just me personally. I think what we're experiencing is fool's gold, but we'll see. Brant, who is a seasoned 71-year-old technical trading, is drawing parallels between his predicted price rally and that of Bitcoin's rise following a 2015 low. If his prediction holds true, that would represent a roughly 10-time gain compared to the current Bitcoin price of around 5,129. What's the price of Bitcoin right now? Let's see. 5,218. Oh, it went up. $5,218. The next most expensive coin is Maker. $735 a coin. Bitcoin Cash, 305. Mixin. Maker, really? It's up 4.5%. I'm gonna have to look into Maker more. It's been a long time since I looked at that coin. Interesting. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coins over $100 per coin. And then Litecoin, Bitcoin SV, below 100. Monero. These are coins I would definitely make sure I have a lot of, because these coins can get to the $1,000 mark. All right. More closely, let me look at Poloniex here. 24-hour high was 53.15. The 24-hour low was 50.50. What's this trend at? It's still positive. This still be going up a little bit. Look at the buy and sell wall. Okay. Sell wall is at, steady for me, 52.50. Buy wall is at 51.45. So if it breaks that 52.50, it can run to 5,300. If it breaks 5,300, then it will slide all the way up to 5,500. This could happen this week. But you got to look at this buy wall, though. Down to 5,100 before it stops. So 5,000, about 5,000 is the low. Interesting. What's the bot doing? Okay, the bot's got a buy order in for 51.39 and a sell order for 52.16. Huh. This may be something to pay attention to today. Okay, what article was I reading? Here we go. I think the analogs are holding remarkably well, and based on those analog studies, I think cryptos will now go back into a parabolic bull market. I don't know how soon that's going to happen, though. I still say we got a year. The only question I have is, do we rally here some and then sometime in late summer? Check the late 2018 lows or not. There is a chance that it does. There's a chance that it doesn't. FOMO driving increased urgency as the crypto winter appears to be thawing. Nonetheless, Brand suggested that Bitcoin will, regardless of short-term performance, rise towards a 50,000 price point in the coming 2 years. He also predicted that urgency is growing among traders as they do not want to miss out on price increases. So FOMO can be pushing this. When Bitcoin starts moving, it moves. It doesn't hold up for everybody to catch a stagecoach. You guys got that? That's why we are still in the early days. You got to take advantage of it now. It's not going to wait for you. Furthermore, it should be added that Brent is far from the only observer making bullish Bitcoin recently. Fundstrat Global Advisors recently issued a note to clients which stressed the improving underlying fundamental improvements in Bitcoin. Moreover, Fundstrat's Tom Lee noted that Bitcoin is re-entering a bullish trend and recently told CNBC that Bitcoin's fair market value is now $14,000. I said the same thing, $14,000. That's what Bitcoin really is at right now. It's the manipulation that's causing it to be the price it is right now. All right. Last up, I'll cover this morning. Why you're still early to crypto as a potential payoff is massive. Massive. Not a little bit. Massive for those of you that are positioned. Technological advances take time. While it's tempting to view cryptocurrency as cutting edge and a harbinger of dozens of fascinating use cases, the reality is that in terms of absolute development, crypto has not even taken off yet. Let's have a look at how that can be and what we can learn from the development of the internet to better understand where crypto is headed. Oh, I'm going to love this article. Got my full attention. The Perez surge cycle. I've never heard of that. There is some debate about where cryptocurrency falls on the Perez surge cycle, a useful approximation for determining into what stage a technology exists. Some people claim that 2017 and early 2018 marked the frenzy period with a parabolic bubble and media attention like never before. However, a more conservative estimate is that crypto is in fact still in the gestation phase. Daniel Heyman, author of this post detailing why we haven't yet seen the frenzy stage, makes the following claim. 2018 was not a Perez-style frenzy and bubble because it did not include key outcomes that are necessary to reach a turning point, significant infrastructure improvements, and replicable business models. If Daniels is correct, and we're still in the gestation phase, it means the real frenzy and bubble will be larger than anything we've seen so far. So in layman's terms, what happened in 2017, when it ran all the way up from less than 1,000, because it started off the year at less than $1,000 a coin, and then in December 17th, it got all the way up to $19,000 a coin. And then a month later, 2018, it dropped by 80%. That is nothing compared to what we're about to see. Ooh. So let me see if I can understand this chart. Maturity A, gestation B, okay. Eruption, Big Bang, creative destruction, new paradigm versus old paradigm, financial capital leads, bubble creation. So that's the 20 to 30 years. Okay. Then you have a turning point and deployment, which is another 20 to 30 years. Synergy, creative construction, widespread application of new paradigm, production capital leads, and then the maturity, gestation period C. Okay. So we're talking 60 years? If that's the case, the internet itself is only, wait, how old is the internet? 30 years old? Like that, 30 something years old? Huh. The timeline to mass adoption. In about 25 years, we went from nothing to more than half of the world's population using the internet. Okay, there we go. 25 years old, 25 years. It appears likely that crypto will at a minimum follow this growth pattern. So if that's the case, we're in year 10 for crypto. However, what's more likely is that crypto adoption will happen even faster. Yeah, because thanks to the internet. Thanks to the internet, development can take place at an accelerated rate, and ideas can spread as fast as it takes to send an email. So, okay, so let's break it down at least half. If it took the internet 25 years for mass adoption, let's say it takes 15 years for crypto. We're in year 10 right now, but I would still give it probably, because most people didn't wake up to crypto until 2017. So I would give that the starting date, so 2025 to 2027. I say mass adoption between 2025 and 2027. So if we consider crypto to be roughly at 1994 or 95 levels of adoption as compared to the internet, we can see that the number of users today is only a shadow of what it will be in just a few years. So think back, how many people did you know was on the internet in 1994 and 1995? I remember 1994 and 95, I graduated from high school and entered my first year at Morehouse College. I remember in my home, my parents, we had one home computer, and it was AOL dial-up. And it was at that time, you couldn't be on the phone and the internet at the same time. So there were periods of the day where we had, the internet wasn't on, you know. And I remember between me and my brother, and then my parents didn't touch the internet. They looked at what we were doing, but we would get like an hour each of internet time, especially if we had to do like homework and stuff. I was a senior in high school. And then I remember that summer, I got wise and said, wait a minute, my dad's office, he has a fax line. So we just plugged the internet line into the fax line, which allowed us to be on the internet longer and not interrupt phone calls coming into the home. Man, that sounds like ancient history, right? That was only 1994. And then in college, you know, college dorm rooms today, there's computer lines, computer in every single dorm room. Not with us. 1994, only our access was a computer lab that had what was called intranet, not internet. An intranet where all the computers in the lab were connected. And then we got what we thought was huge is when they connected the computer labs of Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta University, so that the computer labs would be able to talk to each other. And you know what we used it for? It still wasn't the internet. We used it because there was a video game called Doom that came out. And we would have Doom wars between the other schools. If you're my age, you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and then there was this college system version of an internet. I can't remember what they called it, but all of the colleges around America were connected to this one source. Think of like Wikipedia, except it wasn't Wikipedia. It was like a Wikipedia for college. So whenever we had to do research, especially in law, I was a business major at that time. Wikipedia, we couldn't source that. So we had to use this one that all the colleges were connected to. And then by the time my senior year, 1998, maybe 97, when I had my first personal computer that was my own, that I didn't have to share with my brother, that I had with me at college. And I remember friends would want to use my computer because they didn't have one. And I was connected to the internet. I was at Carter Hall in Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. And it wasn't that long ago. To compare to now, if you saw my setup, I look like I'm in the Star Trek Enterprise. I've got 3 TVs, a desktop computer, 2 laptops, a tablet, and 2 cell phones, all working at the same time right now. The TV's on one. I'm doing this crypto talk where you're seeing my screen on my big screen. And then my laptop, I've got the chat up on so I can see what you guys are saying. Like Jacqueline just came on, and the Logic Thinker, good afternoon, BTC, Brandon, and guests. And then my tablet, I've got Game of Thrones sitting there because I'm binge watching Game of Thrones. And then my cell phone, I've got my DMs, that's because people are blowing me up. Talk about information overload. If I had this stuff in the 90s, I'd never leave my room. Maybe that's a good thing. We didn't have it back then. We were able to socialize. But look how far we've come in such a short period of time. My oldest son was born in 1998. He's 20 years old. He'll be 21 this December. All he knows is the internet. My youngest was born in 2007. He turns 12 years old this year. He really only knows, he was like, what's a pager? You know, what's a dial phone? What's a flip phone? Man, this new generation. All right, go on nostalgia. Let's get back to this. So if we consider crypto to be roughly at 1994-95 levels of adoption as compared to the internet, we can see that the number of users today is only a shadow of what it will be in just a few years. Former Vitel rep, Logic Thinker, yeah, man, the good old days. Oh, we're doing it much bigger now in the crypto world. Adoption is not linear either. Each year, more people will get involved. It will take twice as long to go from 0 to 1 billion users as it will to go from 1 billion to 2 billion users. So let's see here. Internet users in the world, 1993. Look at this. And I was using it in 97, 99. Look at where it got to, 1 billion. It took all the way to 2000 and really? It took to 2005 for there to be 1 billion internet users? Wow. And then from 2005, 6 years, 2011, added another billion. So 1993 to 2005, and then half that time to add another billion. And then from 2009, 2010, 2011 to 2015 about, to add another billion. So just 3-4 more years. And now we are at here, 3.5 billion internet users. And think about that, Facebook has 2 billion. The customer adoption phase graph shows how new products and services are adopted. When we use this graph to track crypto adoption, it's quite apparent that people using cryptocurrency today are among the first of the innovators. So give yourselves a pat on the back. What you are doing right now, just by listening to me, you are putting yourself in the top 99.5 percentile range as an early adopter. This is good and could be bad. Because if you do not take advantage of this time, 15 years from now, you're going to be looking at yourself to say, I had a chance, I had an opportunity in those early days that I could be a multimillionaire and billionaire 15 years later. I didn't take advantage of it. I heard about it. I watched it. I thought it was a scam. I was afraid to learn. It didn't make sense. I didn't want to pay $300 for crypto education. And you missed the boat. Statista claims that at the end of 2018, there were 31 million crypto wallet users in the world. When compared to the world population of about 7.6 billion people, we can see that just 0.42% of people on this planet are involved with cryptocurrency. 0.42%. That's less than half of a percent. You guys are part of less than half of a percent of the world's population. You have no choice but by default to become a crypto millionaire. By default. In fact, you would almost have to fail. You'd have to try hard not to be one. Just by default. Customer adoption phases. You've got innovators, 2.5% as the innovators. Early adopters, 13.5%. We're not even in the early adopter phase right now. We're still at the innovators phase. Early majority, the 34%. The late majority, the laggards. These are the people that they have no choice but to get involved. 16%. What it all means, having determined that by almost any metric, crypto is still in a very early stage of development, it's easy to see that the growth that's going to happen in the coming years and decades is going to take place on an unprecedented scale. Each year, more people are going to use crypto than the year before. As that happens, there will be more developers improving the technology, and those advantages are going to lead to price rises that may be hard to even conceive of now. While this bear market has been tough, Joseph Lubin summed up the future of crypto perfectly when he said, "If you could see the landscape through my eyes, you would have to wear sunglasses." This, as exciting as this is, it's the most frustrating thing in the world to me right now. The most frustrating, because I wish I was able to do more. Everything that I do is thinking about this. I did a Facebook Live, when was it? Yesterday, about focus. Focus. This is the future. I will not allow myself, my thought process, even the people around me in my circle, because if they're not focused, they get excommunicated, they get purged from my circle because they're going to get me off focus. If you are not focused on this, you cannot be in my circle. If you're talking about anything other than this, you cannot be in my circle, because this is going to change my family tree for generations. We have a unique opportunity, unprecedented. What does it say here? This is going to take place on an unprecedented scale. Nothing can push me off of this. I turned down a guaranteed 5 figures for 6 months to help launch another company. It had absolutely nothing to do with crypto. And guess what? I said no. Why? Because I'm looking to do $1 million a week in crypto. Focus is the ability to say no to 1,000 great ideas while you work. That's the other key word. You can't sit back and think it's going to happen automatically. You've got to put in the work. That is where most people fail. The work may be seen as too hard, too complicated, too many issues, too many personalities that don't like each other, or get too much learning that I have to do. And that knocks you off. Is it worth it at the end of the day? You've got to ask yourself, is your sacrifice worth it? You are an early adopter in something that is unproven, yet by all indicators is the future, is not going anywhere. Whenever I get doubtful, and I do, there are times that even I doubt things. And I go back to the reason why I completely changed my entire career in 2017. Before it was April or May 2017 when I figured something out. When I started to learn about crypto seriously. And the two things that I figured out. Hold on 1 second. Someone wants to blow me up here. Finishing up my crypto talk. 1 sec. The two things that I figured out that completely changed everything in my life. The first was cryptocurrency is the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. That last part is so important. The most amount of people. You know what? I am going to do, it's going to be hot here in California today. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I'll actually be on camera today. I'm going to do one tomorrow too, so I'm not going to do a crypto talk. I will be at the Crypto Invest Summit in LA. Stan Williams hooking me up. But I'll be at the Crypto Invest Summit tomorrow. But I'll do a Facebook Live today on this. And maybe I'll tell you how crypto changed my life. The greatest economic shift so I won't go into detail now. The greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. The second thing that I learned is that cryptocurrency, or the technology behind it, the blockchain technology, represents the greatest invention in the history of mankind. It is going to have the biggest impact on our planet as when humans were introduced to agriculture. I'll go into detail on those two things on the Facebook Live this afternoon. I got an important call at 11, which is an hour and 20 minutes from now. But then right after that call, I'll do my live. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a Facebook Live. It won't be on YouTube. So just make sure you see if you hear the alerts on my Facebook. I don't know exactly what time. I don't know how long my 11 o'clock call is going to go. But after that, I'm going to go live. So anyways, you guys have a great day. Hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Bye-bye.